You can get more coaching leads than you know what to do with. Here's how to do it. It's called creating a growth acquisition engine. And I'm going to explain what that is. So, and this is better, by the way, this is based off my last 10 years of experience. I've worked with over 500 clients and we've had, and I've studied closely at least 50 of the specific to ads clients that we work with, and I learned something huge about how we get good results. So I'm gonna go through some of my biggest learnings, and then also I have some of the biggest mistakes of I'm gonna say mistakes, some of the biggest mistakes in or myths that that I see coaches make, especially when they're trying to grow and they're trying to scale their coaching business, and and that's what we focused on today. So this is a big topic, especially going into the new year, because as we as we grow and we are starting this new journey. When I say we, I'm talking about your ideal audience is starting on a journey at every beginning of the year, every January. This is going to be the best year of my life. I'm excited. This is going to be amazing, regardless of what it is, right? We got money making, we got health, we got relationships, we got mindset, we got wealth, all kind of different areas, business, all different types of areas, whatever you focus on, spirituality. And people get so excited that they're more in a hyper buying mode. So obviously we could take advantage of this all year, but this is the time right now where people are more than willing to change their life and they want transformation. And in order to be able to do that, you have to continually show up. When you do it right, you can get ads all throughout the year, but it just so happens to be at the time I'm doing this training right now that this is a good time of year to get in front of more of your ideal clients. So this is interesting because I have one of our clients, right? And this is all going to tie back into getting leads, and it's just so crazy that I thought my whole system was broke the way we was getting leads. So I was running ads for one of our clients, Tamara, and when we first started working together, she was just like, yo, I'm not really getting leads, I get good results. And she lost something crazy. I think she lost almost like 200 pounds, right? And so she's in the weight loss niche, so she does weight loss fight in nutrition coaching. And but when she came to me, she didn't really know how to find her ideal clients online. She was doing like what a lot of established coaches do, right? It's okay, cool. I'm connected with people one on one. All right, cool. I'll go out to some events. I'll get some referrals and things of that nature. And you can grow your business that way. But when she came to me, she was looking more for a system that allowed her to be able to scale her business predictably, right? Which goes back to the growth acquisition engine, right? So she needed an engine, a system that managed her entire marketing process from click to close. And this is one of the things that I tell people when they know that they want to run ads or they want to get leads, and then when I get a chance to really tell them everything I do, they say, yeah, but wait, can I go hire a virtual assistant to do that? I said, you could go overseas and hire somebody from another country to go do it, which is cool, and you could pay them pennies on a dollar. But I said, I'm not just the person that's just going to run the ads. I'm like, I'm creating your entire engine. I'm the person that's going to take the whole system, right? Like, I'm not going to come in like a VA will come into your business and they will follow whatever system you have already, which most of the time you think you have a system, but you really don't have a system. If your leads aren't predictable, then you don't have a system. A whole purpose of a system is predictability and reliability, right? So but my goal isn't to come in and to follow your system. My goal is to come in and build the system. Because if you hiring me, you're hiring me for you hiring me to build you a predictable acquisition system to get booked appointments and clients. That's what I do from click to close. And And the advertising is just one piece of it. It's three things we have. I call it the three A's I have is advertising, automation, and AI. Those are the three things that I install in every business I work with. So anyway, so Tamara came in and she was going through this challenge. So I installed and took over her entire client acquisition process. And so we did that, made sure she had a place for where the leads were going to get captured. Obviously I did the ads. Obviously I did everything in regards to, the copy, did the psychological profile, the demographics. I call it the client avatar breakdown, where we do the entire breakdown of the avatar, make sure the messaging is right. We did the automation on the back end, from reports to follow-ups, etc. Right. So anyway, so I installed this whole system in a business. And so at first she wasn't really getting leads. And besides like the few that was trickling in, the first day I turned on the ad, I think she might've got 5-6 leads. And then, and then the next day, 7, 8, 9 leads, 10 leads. A 15, 30, she was averaging double-digit leads every single day. The first 10 days, and it started going up day by day. And in 10 days, she got 243 leads in her first 10 days. It was so much so I'm like, yo, something is broke. I thought something was wrong. I'm like, hold on, this was working too good. You know what I mean? Now I was half surprised and a half not, because I've been doing this for so long that I understood how to even do the video. Because the way that we even did the video, there was certain ways that I knew that her ideal audience was going to they were gonna love it. You know what I mean? Like I put her, she was just gonna do it like in a living room. I said, nah. I said, we're gonna do it in the kitchen. We gonna, you know what I mean? We gonna she went out to the grocery store and bought fruit to put her like we got busy. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I tell people there is a psychology, there is a strategy behind what makes ads work. It's not just getting somebody to set it up, but it worked well. So, so the big thing is don't just look. If you're gonna hire somebody now, if you're the type of person that's like, yo, I'm gonna go do this myself, go do it yourself. Like I tell everybody, go run ads. Go run ads. Whether you're going to do it yourself or you're going to hire somebody to do it for you, just do it, because it's not going to rely on yourself. That's what I like, is that you could go on vacation, you could get sick, you could, you might be, taking a leave of absence for work, or you might, you might be pregnant, right? Your family or your girl, yourself, whatever, right? Like you might have to take time off, but anytime you take time off, when you're a solo operator, then you're automatically impacting the business, because when you're not working, you're the most important employee in your business. When you're not working, you're not making money, right? My goal is when I come in is to make you money. Right. I'm not here to play around. I'm here to make you money. So when I say I'm putting in these growth acquisition systems in your business, you could say now I got a whole engine in my business that's running and producing me leads of the right type of clientele for me to make money. So that's the difference when you have somebody on your team who could look at it from that standpoint versus a virtual assistant that'll just come in and just they're working hourly and they just doing their job and they go home. Oh, you ran out of hours. You feel what I'm saying? I don't optimize around hours. I optimize around results. So there's a big difference there. But when you're thinking in those terms, what's going to happen is you're going to start getting more clients and leads, because now we're going to be looking at it from the standpoint of the entire customer journey, the entire customer funnel. So and this is what I do with our members. Like they'll come in and I'm looking at everything. I'm like, I call it from click to close. So I'm looking at it from the first click, making sure that we get the first click, to making sure we get the right people that come in. And by the way, you could, like I said, this is something that you really got to look into. If you don't have the expertise or the experience to do this, you got to bring people on. But, I'm looking at it from the click to the person who signs in or opts in, to the person who comes in through your landing page, if you have one, or coming through your funnel, right, which is your set of web pages, to excuse me, to, you know, are they signing up to have a conversation with you? Are they booking an appointment with you? To, are they actually showing up to your call to the sales? So I'm looking at the entire process, and I'm optimizing it. And not just optimizing it, I'm looking at the metrics. And so that's very key, because this is how you're going to be able to get more of your ideal clients coming through your process. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. First of all, hopefully that makes sense, right? So like you being able to install the entire engine of your client acquisition process and know what to look for and what to improve, it's what's going to get you so many leads that is going to be crazy. It's going to get you so many clients. It's how I got over 500 clients. And then, like I said, I've got dozens and dozens and dozens just specifically on the ads side by itself. All right. With that being said, let's go through a couple key things here. And by the way, just in case you forgot it, right? This is the name, this topic for today. All right. So a couple, I've looked at some of the questions I got. I do a lot of trainings, internal, external. I was looking at some of the questions I got, even on our strategy calls, and I said, let me consolidate some of the things I've been hearing, and let's address these myths and these mistakes. So, myth number one is I need better ads to sell. Right? Some of this is going to sound counterintuitive. I need better ads to sell. So what you actually need, right? So it's okay. Well, my ads are not that good. Well, there is some truth to that. However, instead of just looking at better ads to sell, I need better ads to scale. You need to really look at your numbers to know what is going to help you scale, right? Because when you say scale doesn't necessarily even mean more clients. Scale typically means more money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you may want to be bigger. It depends on what your goals are too, though, right? You might want to have more people for certain reasons. Maybe you do live events. Maybe you want to funnel people into different products and services. But when you scale, I like to look at scale in terms of monetization. So you might say, yo, I want to scale this business, but and we can always run more ads, but that's not, believe it or not, although I have an ads agency, believe it or not, that's actually not the first thing I'm looking at. I'm also going to be looking at, okay, well, are there any other products or services you can offer them on a back end? Because if you're getting new clients, but people are dropping off in 3 months, how, you will probably want to extend that, right? So I'm looking at that. I'm looking at, okay, well, we can bring more people in, but how many of your people are you actually getting to book an appointment with you, right? So, which means that it's like, if you had 10 people that booked an appointment with you, but only one person is showing up, I think we should probably fix that. You know what I'm saying? Because people think that, like, so here's what ads are going to do. Ads will allow you to make more money, but ads all it's going to do is going to put more people through your system. It's going to put more people through your pipeline. So if you're not optimizing or fixing your system, what's going to happen is you're going to get more people. It's like pouring water into a leaky bucket. You know what I'm saying? It's like that bucket got a ton of holes in it. So I'm actually looking at some of the holes first. And then what I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, okay, cool. You always need predictable leads. So we don't turn or force it off, which is another mistake. It's like, okay, I need to fix something. Let me turn the forcing off. Never, ever in your life turn off your marketing. That's how you make money. You never turn off your advertising. You never turn off your marketing. But just like a faucet, you could turn it down. You feel what I'm saying? All turning it down really means is, okay, I was spending $100 a day. Now I'm spending $50 a day. I was spending $50 a day. Okay, let me lower the ad budget. Let's lower the ad budget to $20 a day. Okay, so because you still need a predictable flow, but you don't got to put it on full blast until you get to you fix some of the holes in it where you feel like, okay, cool, I felt like I could catch more of the water when you start plugging up some of the holes in the bucket. So I'm looking at that. I'm looking at the percentage of people that's actually booking. So if I'm like, okay, cool, like let's say show up percentage, right? I like 80%, which means 8 out of 10 people. I mean, 10 people said, all right, I'm booking with you. I could look at your calendar and see, okay, 10 people booked. I want to make sure that 8 of them is showing up. If I see an 80% show up rate, I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing, right? If you're getting, let's say you got 100 leads this month. Okay, well, I want to know, are you at least booking 10%? I mean, minimum. I mean, obviously, I like more than that. I mean, if you booking, I mean, the goal is to book at least half of them. But my minimum threshold is 10%. So I'm like 10 out of every 100 leads, like you should be booking on the calendar. So if you're getting 100 leads every month, but you're not at least getting 10 on the calendar, we got to look at what's going on. Maybe you taking too long to follow up with the leads. You know what I mean? Or it could be a number of different things, right? Maybe you're not good with the setting call. Maybe it's something that you're saying is turning off the person, or maybe something that's going on with the initial call or the initial contact, where either they're not responding, or either for some reason that they're not accepting the invitation to the next call. Because I do what we call a 2-call close, right? Which the first call essentially is a screening call, and then the second call is your sales call, right? That's where you actually present the offer that you have. So there's a number of things we got to look at. And so with that being said, you can always scale and spend more money on ads. At the same time, we also got to look at what part of the engine, what part of your system needs to be fixed, and then let's make that happen. So that's one of the first myths that we had to debunk for today. Okay, so that's super key. Ariel is in the building. What's good, A? Good to see you. What's that? All right. All right, cool. So we got that. And by the way, quick intermission on this. Everybody put this date down in your calendar. Saturday, March 27th and 28th. Saturday, March 27th and 28th, 2026. We got our annual PCS boot camp. Yeah. Our annual PCS boot camp is coming up. I hope y'all are very excited. I got some fun speakers that's gonna be coming out this year. And I got some really, really cool surprises and activations that I'm gonna be doing for this year. And I'm really excited. And if this is your first time attending, come out and meet me in person, shake my hand, take pictures. But you're gonna meet a lot of people that are in the coaching industry. I got some of my friends that are gonna be popping out. We got other folks in our community who are serious about running a business, and I want to see you there. All right, so if you are interested in attending that, I'm actually going to be dropping the pre-registration link pretty soon. It'll probably be before the end of this month at the time we doing this, and then you have the opportunity to pre-register. All right, so stay tuned for the PCS bootcamp. All right. So here is another false belief. My leads are low quality. Oh my God, I hear that sometimes. My leads are low quality, right? I had this. I've had this before where I brought in. I remember this one particular client. He was telling me that his leads is low quality, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm like, are you sure? Because I'm like, we went through the messaging together, right? It's like we didn't just pull this out of thin air. Like we went through what the ad is, and I went through it. So I'm like, it's low quality. I said, well, what's making you say that they're low quality? He said, well, because they're not answering. And then the few people that I got to answer that they didn't want to book a call with me. And I said, okay. I said, well, that doesn't mean that your leads are low quality, right? That's more of a skill issue than anything else. So I said, the good news is you got the right people. I said, when you on the phone with them, are they telling you that they have the problem that we promoted inside of the ad? He said, yeah. He said, I said, yeah. I said, well, are they giving you goals that you can help them achieve? He said, yeah. He said, well, I said, okay. And I said, are they telling that they're able and they're willing to make a commitment to, to make an investment if you can help them? He said, oh, I forgot to ask them that. Okay, so all right, so there's a couple of things that we need to fix, right? Right. Number one is and this is after I started asking questions. This is why you have to pay attention to your metrics. Like you got to look into your numbers. So I said, okay, well, I said, I see you got these leads because we look at the leads list together because obviously I have access to them. So I said, we look at the leads and I said, okay, well, show me what you're like. How did you reach out to this person? Not yet. Did you reach out to that person? Or I just reached out. And this was like a week ago. So I said, okay. So as I'm going through this list, I'm like, okay, so here's what I'm seeing. If you take too long to reach out to people, they're going to forget what they signed up for. And I said, that's a natural thing. How many services or free resources we sign up for online all the time? I know I do it. I sign up for things and I'll forget what I signed up for. Can you remember what you signed up for a week ago, a month ago, 6 months ago? You probably don't remember. So I said, people are going to be willing to sign up. They sign up for things when they're going through pain in the moment. So it's your job to make sure that once somebody comes through as a lead, like you got to reach out to them immediately. Now, my goal is immediately. Like when I say immediately, I mean like 5 minutes, like the first 5 minutes. Now you might be like, yo, Coach T, I got a day job, or you might be like, yo, I got a ton of other things in the business that I'm doing. I'm the only person. And I get it. My goal is to tell you what the best practice is. And then you do you get as close to the best practice as you can. But I'm not going to give you a watered down version. I'm going to give you the most potent best case scenario. And then it's your job to say, how close can I get to that? So you might say, I can't get to 5 minutes, but you know what? Once an hour. You might say, you know what? I can check my leads list a few times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening, and night. That might be your cadence, right? Or we'll install a automation where when we get new leads in, they get an automatic text message, they get an automatic email, right? Which is something that we can do. Where they automatically get touched immediately within like 60 seconds. So then now they're engaged with you and they're responding to you. So now you might just get a response from them. They'll get an automated email or automated text, and then now you'll get an automatic message to your phone immediately, and all you need to do is respond. Right? That's like best case scenario. So now you don't even got to think about it. You just respond. But because they've already engaged with you, they know what it is. So even if you got back to them in an hour or 2 hours, you could look at your phone, text them back, and then they'll know like, okay, this is the person that I responded back to earlier. So I know what this is in reference to. This is in reference to the ad that I signed up for earlier. See what I'm saying? So, yeah, so that's key, right? That's key. So it's not always the lead quality. Sometimes it's how you engage with and your level of responsiveness to the leads. All right. Now, I know a lot of this is about tracking, but this kind of one is a similar one. Like this one says, I track enough to know it's working. I beat this from a few different angles, so I'm not going to spend too long on this particular one. But here's the thing, right? Just tracking the amount of sales isn't enough. I see people that I'll track the amount of sales. Like I'll ask them that's the one thing people know. I'll say, well, how many sales you got? They'll know, well, I got 1 or 2 clients this week. I got 1 or 2 sales. I got 3, 4, whatever they got. People typically know the sales. After that, they really don't know too much, right? They typically, if I ask you right now how many appointments you had, could you tell me off the top of your head? Or could you at least look it up? Are you tracking it? Right? You should have a dashboard. I give all of our members a dashboard. So they get a dashboard where they're tracking certain numbers. Right? So just tracking your sales isn't enough. I'll give you a couple of things we track. Right? So we're tracking sales. I'll kind of work my way backwards. So we're tracking sales. I'm tracking how many people we even offered our services to. That's important because that'll also tell you, are you disqualifying too many people? Is the call dropping? Like, are you even offering enough people your services? I'm tracking how many people showed up to the call. I call it live calls. So how many live calls you had. But then also I'm tracking bookings, right? So how many people actually book? Because just because somebody book on your calendar don't mean they showed up, right? I mean, I'm sure you've had that. You've had people that's been booking with you, but you know they don't show up, right? But you need to know what that percentage is, because if there's a big discrepancy in there, you got to be that's how you know what you need to fix. This is like my diagnostic, right? Like if I was a mechanic and you brought your car to me, I'm not just gonna go and start trying to fix the car. I'm gonna hook it up to the machine, whoop, 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 hook it up to the machine, and then I'm gonna let the diagnostic tell me, oh, okay, based on what I'm reading here, this right here seems to be the discrepancy. This is the problem. Boom, and then that's when we go fix it. That's why having the numbers is important, because it allows you to do a proper diagnostic. If you don't have, if you're not tracking enough things, then you don't really know what to change, what to fix, right? So I'm tracking live calls, I'm tracking bookings. Um, I have our members track conversations, right? How many conversations are you creating? You know, basically I look at that as outreaches, right? Like conversations slash outreaches, meaning, right, you could get 100 leads this month, but how many of them did you actually reach out to? You know what I'm saying? So like that's key, right? If you're getting leads, like you should be reaching out to them, whether you're running ads or now or not. But you need to be reaching out to them. So I'm looking at things like that. So and then I'm also tracking what they call what cash collected, right? Meaning you might have a $2,000 program or $5,000 program. How many of it are you paying up front? Majority of people are not going to pay up front. You know what I mean? You probably get, I mean, 1 out of 10, maybe 2 out of 10 if you're really good. Um, you know what I mean? Like, so you're not really going to get, that's probably average. You're not really going to get everybody who's going to pay, but you'll get people who do 2 pay, 3 pays, things of that nature. But I also like to track that as well too. How many people just giving in deposits versus how many people paying in full. And that'll give you an idea on the sales ability, right? You know, if every time somebody is excited to sign up with you, but you so afraid to collect money, you only collecting $100, you know what I'm saying? Then it's just going to take you longer to build. And then also, the more payment plans you give somebody, the more likely, or the longer the payment plan, the more likely they're going to fall off. So your goal is to collect as much as upfront as possible, because one, that'll allow you to put more money into the advertising. Two, that person is going to be more committed, because if they already paid for the year, they committed now, right? Or if they already paid for the entire 3 months of your program, they committed now. So they're going to be more likely to do what you say. And then number three, the longer you extend the payment plan, the easier it is to drop off. You know what I'm saying? They might now all of a sudden month 2, month 3, month 4, an emergency happened, and then now they can't pay, they got to pause, right? So it's much better to run your business when you do shorter payment plans, or you have them do the pay up full up front. So these are some strategies that is this is what's going to allow you to get so many leads that is going to make you sick. And I'm excited about this, because these are like, I'm really going to be going into some of the specific how-to strategies at the PCS boot camp. Like, I'm gonna really be going into the specific strategies I'm using, and that I'm seeing that's working in some of the masterminds and paid groups that I'm in right now. And so I'm excited about that. So again, make sure that you come out to the PCS boot camp. It's going to be March 27th and 28th. The 27th is going to be like an evening get together situation, and then the 28th is going to be that's Siri, and then the 28th is going to be it's going to be like the full blown day. And so, which is going to be a phenomenal situation. All right. So hope you're excited about that. Other than that, I got a challenge that's going to be coming up in January. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be called the digital, the digital, because I was testing his name and I had a couple of different names, but I believe I'm gonna be calling it the digital course challenge. It's gonna be something around that. Well, basically, we're gonna be creating we're gonna take a week out, and we're gonna create an online course. Believe it or not, most people don't know I got 15 online courses, believe it or not, right? So I know thinking too about creating courses. So if you ever wanted to create a digital course, I got that coming up. That's going to be early. That's going to be early January. So stay tuned for that. It will be paid, but I have an incentive around that. That's going to be super dope. So make sure that you do that. Come out to the PCS boot camp. If you are interested in wanting me to run your ads, then just go ahead and put just put details in the comments below. Just go ahead and put details, and then what I'll do is I'll look at what you got going on, and then I'll tell you if it makes sense to install this growth engine inside of your business, right? And like I said, from click to close, and that's ads, that's automation, and that's AI. So we install all of that in your business, and I'll let you know if I think you're ready for it, or if I don't think you're ready for it, or if I think there's some things you need to fix first, or if I say, okay, we could start at this level. So I'll give you a real assessment. Part of my goal, especially heading into next year, is I want to help. I want to be responsible for dozens of people blowing up their business. I mean, so many people blowing up their business because we've installed our specific process in their business. And and we starting with that early, right? So if you want to be a testimonial and you want to be able to get some leads so you can blow up your business, just go ahead and put details below, and then I'll let you know. We'll jump on a quick call, and I'll let you know if I can help you out with that. All right. So those are some of the things we got coming up. Other than that, continue to be great. Slow motion is better than no motion. Let's work.